Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back to PokePal. Today I'm going to be doing a Phantasm Spiral deck profile. If you guys want just the deck profile, you guys don't want any explanation, nothing else, just skip to the end of the video and I'll have the deck profile up for you guys. If you want me to go in depth on the deck, if you want to know why I run the cards in here, at the number that I do and kind of how the deck works, then stay for the video and I kind of explain everything as I go. Now this is a super budget deck. It is a normal water monster type deck. You don't run anything in here but normal monsters, and the way that the field spell in this deck works is pretty much it makes it where an extra deck is pretty much useless. You can run an extra deck if you want, but it would kind of take the deck out of the out of what it is. Now, the only issue I would say, well, this deck, it's also about a $15-$20 deck, which is also super budget for you guys. $15-$20 deck, no more than $20. Now, the only issue with this deck is that it is extremely dependent on that field spell. If you cannot keep that field spell on board, and you can't get it out early enough, then most likely you're gonna lose the game. So first, we're gonna get into the boss monster of the deck, which is Phantasm Spiral Dragon. 2900 attack, 2900 booty. You can make him as big as 3900 with this deck. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the monsters in this deck are all normal water type monsters, so it's nothing crazy to get into. There's no effects, anything like that. There's no specific reason why I run these water type normal monsters. You just need normal water type monsters. So we run 3 of the Kabazauls, 3 of the 7-color fish, 3 of the Gagagigo, and 3 of the Megalosmasher X. Again, no specific reason why we run these cards. The only reason we run them is because they're normal water type monsters. I went ahead and I tried to see which ones were the strongest normal water type monsters that were 4 stars or less, and these are the ones with the highest attack, which is the only reason that I chose these. So most likely you end up choosing something similar because you do want decently strong normal water type monsters to come out. They can't have effects, so this is what I ended up with. So now to get to the centerpiece of the deck. It is Pacifist and Terraforming. So we're taking up 5 spots in the deck just for the field spell. Now the Terraforming, you guys know what it does. It lets you search your deck for the field spell, so we'll put those up top. Now the field spell, like I said, your deck completely depends on this card. And we'll go to the effect and you guys will see why. So whenever you activate either of the effects of this card, so this card has the field spell has 2 effects. When you activate either one, you cannot normal or special summon any effect monsters, which is why I said that effect monsters are kind of useless for this deck, and that's kind of the theme of the whole deck. So the first effect of the field spell is that once per turn, if you normal or special summon exactly 1 normal monster and no other cards, add 1 Phantasm Spiral card from your deck to your hand. So that is extremely useful because when you're able to, when you normal or special summon any of these regular monsters, you're going to be able to go into your deck for any of the Phantasm Spiral spell or trap cards. Now that is extremely useful because this whole deck depends on the spell and trap cards, and especially the trap cards, because heads up, the trap cards, when this card is on the field, you can play them straight from your hand. You don't need to you don't need to set them. Sorry about that, guys. I got like an itch in my throat and it won't go away. So, extremely useful card. And then its second effect is that when your opponent activates a card or effect, except for the damage stat, you can special summon a token with 2000 attack. So it's a Phantasm Spiral token. So the cool thing with that is that it's not a hard once per turn. So let's say you're able to, let's pretend this is a token. Let's say you're able to special summon your Phantasm token your opponent's turn because they activate an effect or something. But then during the damage step, they destroy it. But then during the main phase 2, they activate another effect, then you're able to resummon that token, which is extremely useful because it is a Phantasm Spiral, so you are able to use the equip spells and all that kind of stuff on it. So it's really good. The only issue I would tell you guys is that with the primary effect of this card, where you're able to search for any of those Phantasm Spiral cards in your deck, is that it does have to be exactly 1 card that you summon. So if you use something like Soul Charge that special summons a bunch of cards on your side of the field, the primary effect of this card does not work. Now you can special summon after you use the effect the first time. So let's say you normal summon a monster and use the effect to search one of the Phantasm Spiral cards. You can then special summon another normal monster, but you can't activate it when you special summon multiple normal monsters, if you get what I'm saying. So here are the equipped spells. Now these are the bad boys you're going to be looking at to special summon your boss monster. So the way it works is that Phantasm Spiral Crash, when you equip it to one of your normal monsters, whenever you do battle damage to your opponent, you can go into your deck, graveyard, or your hand and special summon one of these guys. And the cool thing with this card too is that whenever you equip it to a monster, it also does piercing damage to any defense position monster. So you're almost guaranteed, if you equip this to something big enough, you're guaranteed to always do some sort of battle damage. So you're guaranteed to get this guy out. Now the way Phantasm Spiral Grip works is that the monster gains 500 attack. And whenever you destroy an opponent's monster, you're able to special summon one of these guys. So let's say you have a Megalosmasher out, and you have him equipped with one of these and one of these, and your opponent has something in, defense position. If you attack into it and you destroy it, you resolve both effects. So you were able to do the piercing damage because you had more attack than, theoretically you would have more attack than whatever the defense is, unless it has more defense than what your monster has attack, but you would be doing the piercing damage, which would resolve this, which means you'd be able to special summon one, and then you would also resolve this card's effect because you'd be destroying it, so you'd be able to summon another one. Now the thing is that also when you special summon using these cards' effects, they go to the monster, they go to the Spiral Dragon that you summon. So if you decide to special summon this guy and use this card's effect to special summon it, he would go there, so he would get the piercing damage. And then if the effect for the Phantasm Spiral Grip was used to summon him, then he would gain the 500 attack. So pretty cool cards. And then keep in mind, it is still your battle phase, so you would still be able to attack with these bad boys. So you can do a lot of damage decently quick. Now, I guess we'll keep these two guys out for now. Now, another equip spell that I use is Moon Mirror Shield. Now, the cool thing with Moon Mirror Shield is that your monster gains 100 more attack depending on the monster you're attacking. So let's say your opponent has a Phantasm Spiral Dragon and you have a Megalosmasher. So his attack is 2,900. His attack is 2,000. If you have him equipped with a Moon Mirror Shield, when you attack into him, his attack becomes 3,000. It becomes exactly 100 more than his. So you're guaranteed to destroy it and do some damage. So this is if you're able to get this in your hand with... No, where is it? I'm going into the wrong things. If you're able to get that into your hand with either one of the equip cards, you're almost always guaranteed to either destroy it, which would resolve one card, or do damage, which would resolve the other one, because you're always going to have 100 more attack. So you're always either going to destroy or do some sort of damage with the two Phantasm Spiral equip cards, which is why I run two of these. And sometimes it's also good to just delay the game if you have a lot of like low attack, or not low attack, but like Megalosmashers, your biggest normal summon monster that you have that isn't the boss monster. So if you put one of these on him and your opponent doesn't have the effects to get over him, they can't just attack into him because he's always going to have 100 more attack. If that makes sense. Now, these are the more generic cards. I run two Moray of Greeds because Moray of Greed, it is a water type deck. So you can always shuffle two water type monsters from your hand into the deck and draw 3 cards. So that's really helpful. That's really good, especially if you draw the boss monster in like your first hand, or you draw him early on. And the main thing with this deck, it's not really about having the monsters in your hand, because you could always get that token out. You just really need one monster in your hand, as long as your opponent doesn't destroy it super quick and you have the field spell up. If you don't have that field spell up, then your board becomes more fickle. But if you draw into that big guy and another one of your water monsters or whatever, but you don't have that field spell in your hand and you don't have that terraforming to bring in that field spell, you might want to use one of these to try to grab that field spell. Because honestly, you need to get that out as quick as possible. Then we have an Ancient Rules. This is the other way to bring out the boss monster. If you don't have either of the equipped spells and you just can't bring them out, this lets you special summon one level 5 normal monster from your hand, which he's level 5. Wait, he's level 8 or something like that, so he's level 5 or higher. 2 Unexpected Dies, because this is a normal type deck, and this lets you special summon a level 4 or lower normal type monster from your deck. Pot of Duality, because again, sometimes you just want to add some diversity to your hand. You're not always going to be doing all kinds of special summoning and all that. The only time you're really going to be special summoning in this deck is when you special summon the boss monster and when you summon out the token. You're never really going to be special summoning any other time unless you have like that Unexpected Die or the other card in your hand. But sometimes the Pot of Duality is just worth using because again, if you don't draw until one of those 5 cards is going to get your field spell out, then maybe the Pot of Duality will help you out. Now these are the next cards. That's it for the monsters and the spells. These are the trap cards that run in this deck. So we have 3 Phantasm Spiral Power and 3 Phantasm. Sorry about that. And Phantasm Spiral Battle. Now to keep it simple, the way it works, if you have the field spell out, which is considered Umi, this card you can play straight from your hand, and same thing with this one. So this lets you destroy any one card in your opponent's side of the field. So you can play this from your hand during your opponent's turn or during your turn to destroy exactly one card on your opponent's side of the field. So it is a really good card, which is why I say it's so important to have that field spell out, because you can search out these cards and you can play them from your hand. It makes your field so much harder to get over. And Phantasm Spiral Power, same thing, you can activate it straight from your hand, either your turn or your opponent's turn, lets you decrease one of your opponent's monsters by 1,000 attack, and it negates all of its effects for that turn. So another great card to have, another searchable card with the field spell. Again, the field spell, you could, if I have the field spell out this turn and I normal summon my normal monster, I'm able to get one of these into my hand. And if the next turn I normal summon another normal monster, I could get another one into my hand. If you're able to start stacking these bad boys in your hand, it's going to be really hard for your opponent to summon anything that'll get over, especially if you have that boss monster out. It just makes it a lot more difficult. Another cool thing is that Phantasm Spiral Battle, like I said, when you special summon that boss monster, he gets that equipped spell attached to him. If this ends up in the graveyard, so if you use it and it's in the graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard and take one of your equipped spell cards, one of your Phantasm Spiral equipped cards, and equip it to one of your other monsters. So for example, if you have, let's get these out of the way. If you have 2 Phantasm, let's see, where did I put all these cards? Let's say you have 2 Phantasm Spiral Dragons out. We're going to go into a little bit more of a simple combo that could be done. And you have your Phantasm Spiral Grip. So now he has 3,400 attack, he has 29. You attack into your opponent, 34. You can now banish this card from your graveyard, attach it to him, now he has 34, you get attack into your opponent again. Or even if you have it on him, and you attack into your opponent, and you're able to destroy a monster, and now you're able to special summon your other Phantasm Spiral. Now, what this card's effect is when you special summon another Phantasm Spiral, this becomes equipped to him. So you attacked with 34, he becomes 34, and you attack again. Now, this card's effect doesn't activate again, even if you destroy another card. But you could banish this then from the graveyard and equip it to him and do another 3,400 damage. So it's very flexible that way. It's a very cool card. So that's pretty much the trick with that one. And Phantasm Spiral Battle is a little bit different. So you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one normal monster you control, equip with one Phantasm Spiral equipped spell from your hand or graveyard to that normal monster. So if some of your Phantasm Spiral equipped cards, let's see, if either that guy or that one ended up in the graveyard, and let's say you have like a Megalosmasher out or whatever, and your opponent attacks you with a 2200, he has 2000 attack. So if your opponent attacks with a 2200 attack monster to destroy him, you can banish this from your graveyard, and if you have one of these in your graveyard, then you could equip it to him, and now he has 2500 attack. Or you could equip really any one of them, and you could then use their effects to try to summon the big guy back out. So that's why I said there's a little bit of flexibility with this deck. There is like different combos and stuff you can go into, which is really cool. And then for the last card, I run a skill drain because this is a normal monster type deck. Skill drain: when you play, you pay 1000 life points, and the effects of all face-up effect monsters on the field are negated. So if you're able to draw into this, sorry about that. If you're able to draw into skill drain, and you're actually able to activate it, then, I mean, it's going to be a lot more difficult for your opponent to win, because now all of their monster effects can be activated on the field. So it makes it that much harder, and especially if you have Phantasm Spiral Dragon out, and you're able, he's 2900 attack as it is. If you're able to make him 34 or 3900, I mean, without effects, your opponent's going to have a hard time getting over this guy. But that's something that's just in the deck, just in case. If you happen to draw into the heart of the cards and you pull this card, then, and you're actually able to activate it, then it's a great card. I mean, you could always change this out for like a Dark Hole or a Raigeki or something like that if you rather just have something that'll wipe the board if you're in a tough spot. But this card, it's at 1, and it's at 1 for a reason. Really good card. Alright guys, so that is my deck profile. If you guys have any questions about it, have any input, anything like that, leave a comment below. If you liked the video, if you liked the format, tell me why. All feedback is appreciated. If you hated it, tell me why. Dislike the video and let me know why you didn't like it. And if you guys have any other budget deck ideas that you want me to build or to explain or anything like that, just let me know and I'll try to build it for you guys, and I'll try to upload different deck profiles for you guys if it's something that you like. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and take care.